Check. All right. I had to make sure the microphone was on. It wasn't on, so you
Yes.
know, you guys are going to get that in today's lesson because I'm not editing it out. I don't really like sitting around doing all this editing, so you get what I got. So we left off yesterday, and Moses implements the division of the spoil of war. Okay, now this is not something we're going to have to deal with at this time. It will come up in the future.
Yes.
Okay, first things first, you have to establish a place for people to come and to grow. And that place that you establish have to make the people of Israel grow
Right.
their families with prosperity. Now, prosperity is to be wealthy in food and land and housing. So your family does not have to move far from you. They have a provision.
Yes.
So, in order for that to take place, you guys are going to have to give some money to buy land as a group, right? Now, I was telling my sister if we got 10,000 people to just do $5 a month, right? 10,000 people is not a lot, and just do $5 a month, you know, we could get a lot accomplished in a year.
Yes.
So if you said, well, what if the judgment comes out this September and the Most High destroy America and the banks collapse and we have all of these issues and we don't have jobs and we don't have money? You're right. So what if that same 10,000 people gave $20 until the collapse came?
Exactly. This is about preparation.
What if they gave 30, 40, 50 until the collapse comes? So we're not discussing whether or not the collapse is coming, whether or not destruction is coming. You know it is coming. This is just like with Noah. Everybody knew the judgment was coming. You know. Now, are you going to get on the ark? What is the ark today? The ark is to come under this law, customs, and traditions in this land in preparation for the move into our land. There is a preparatory stage. So we have to come here to make transition and to weed out the bad apples. Okay? You say, what? You weed out the bad apples? Yeah. So there's always some who come who are going to test the limits and get cut off. So we have to weed out the bad apples and to move forward, having learned from them. You're not going to get the same thing you got with Moses. Because with everything that Moses did, the people really didn't listen to him.
Right.
They weren't really faithful. Right? They were faithful to Moses because the Most High would kill you if you didn't support him.
Right.
So this is what you want. That's not you being faithful. That's fake. You're not loyal. You fake. You fraudulent. You're not really doing the law because for you to do the law, you feel like it has to be enforced upon you. So when you do something wrong, what you're saying is, somebody better kill me. That's That's what you want. Okay? So that's not a person that's obedient to the law. You're not faithful to the Most High. You're a hypocrite. You're a liar. You have an idol. Right? It don't have to be a statue. That's an idol. Okay? Where the law says be obedient, you should be obedient. Nobody here knows what the ensign is unless you went through the class and we discussed the ensign, even though it's right here over my head. The exact ensign. Okay? As mandated by the scripts. It's not in your book because your book is fraudulent. How can the Most High tell you to make an ensign and then don't tell you how to make it? This one is made exactly according to the scripture, and I have done it. There are 3 copies of it. Okay? So one is in America. One is here with me. Okay? And the third one is in the wilderness in America, where I left it. Because I couldn't bring everything with me. So I left it where it was.
But you know what's crazy? Their idea of the ensign come from what their enemy, who they know to be their enemy, have just it to be. They tell them, oh, each tribe has their own standard.
There's only 4.
There's only 4.
There's only 4 standards. But, I'm not going to make this an ensign lesson. Your job is to come and in camp, live, right, by the ensign when you see it. There it is. We are here in Jordan and Amman. Now, if you don't want to encamp by your ensign, that's the commandment of the law. All the other camps are wrong. All of them. You say, how can you say that? Well, you ask the camps about the Aramaic Targums. Ask your camp leaders if they've heard of the books, if they've read them. You'll see that they know about them, but they refuse to teach it because, the people want to hear from the New Testament. All right, but they know about it. But if you really dedicated to wanting to know what the details of the law is, it's found there in the Aramaic, which is what Ezra wrote. So now you see the ensign. I'm giving it to you. Nobody else has that flag. It's not nowhere. This flag represents 3 nations, the 3 nations of the East. If you don't like it, that is your problem. I don't care. You problem, not mine. That is your problem. So now we are here, and if you're going to come. But don't try to come and then give, because you need a preparation, right? You need a place to come to, right? I just saw now online there was 10 dunhams available, and it's like, I think it's like $15,000. I'm not sure. My reading is not 100%, but it's like $15,000 to develop a new area, a new neighborhood here in Amman. And that's exactly what I want to get. If it's $15,000, and I know it's just raw land, it's undeveloped, no houses, no nothing. So it's a brand new community neighborhood. I want to buy the whole thing. If it's $15,000 per dunham, I want it. If it's $15,000 for all 10 dunhams,
I want it.
I want it. I don't care what it is. I want it. What do you want it for? I want it for the people.
Right.
Right? I can't. If I build a luxury building, I still have to own the land. Right? And if I still have to teach the people, if I got 10 dunhams and I own the land, then I can shape the neighborhood according to what is necessary for the people to learn. Right? So we can put it has a main street, so I can put a supermarket there. I can put small shops and businesses. 10 dunhams. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't know what a dunham is an acre. So that's like 10 acres. this is good. We can grow some things and start farming projects. We can start nurseries. We can really start developing an entire, and it's all together. So it's not like it's 10 and they're all over the place. It's all together.
Right.
So I want it, right? I'm gonna go inquire about it, but I don't want to just go get one. If I get one, there's no room for you. Just 1 acre, there's not enough room for you. And I know how you people are. And you say, how do you know? I said, because I've been out here for 7 years. You know what I'm saying? You get one, and then, they want to come out and then they complain that it's small or that it's not enough. I know because they did it to me before. Because I had all of these ideas before. And then the Most High kept chastising me. No, that's not the way. That's not what I said. That is not what I spoke through the prophets. That's not what I wrote for you. And that's how I've come to this place.
But also, Rabbi Sheikh, through our conversations, you've already implemented doing it the way the people wanted you to do it.
Yeah.
It did not work. So you already have experienced the ins and the outs, what's to be, what's not to be. And you honestly did it the way the people were wanting you to do it, and it failed. It did not work. So you have the experience to understand that there's only one way for this to work, and that is by the instructions, line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little bit, there a little bit, that's the only way that it should work, It's not to work no other way.
Well, here's the thing. Everyone's judgment in the matters of the law and the scriptures of the Bible is wrong.
Yeah.
And you say, Rabbi Sheikh, what are you talking about? Well, let me explain. What you have seen all the way from Adam, all the way to the end of the Old Testament is all the mistakes that were made before the nation fell. If you have the apocryphal books, then you can add those into the Old Testament. Okay? So what you're looking at is how the nation fell, everything that they have done wrong. What you see today is the fulfillment of the prophecy of Jeremiah chapter 27 and 28, where the whole earth was given unto the power of Nebuchadnezzar, the Babylonians. So you're living in right now a world being run by the Babylonian system on multiple levels. The Chaldean Babylonian system. This is Nebuchadnezzar's system, which is the same system that the children of Israel tried to use.
So he pretty much gave them
If I want the Babylonians to have it, I'll give it to them. So this is what that is. Jeremiah chapter 27 and 28. Right now, I don't like to go into prophecies because your judgment is not straight.
Yes.
But you need to know where we are to understand where we're going. That's if you're going to go, and if you're going to go with me. Okay? Yes, I'm leading the way. All right? That's because I was put here to lead. I'm not doing this for clout or to show eloquence of speech. I'm doing this because I have to lead some of you out. I have to lead some of you into the land by hand, literally. Okay, so if I have to do this, then I'm going to do it the way it says to do, which means we'll join together, we'll buy land, we will set orders. There will be rank and file amongst the men, and there will be order in the households. There will be an establishment of what a person's rights are and how we administrate to the people. That's what has to be. From there, we will buy more and more land, the same as Abraham did, which is again the prophecy of Jeremiah chapter 50. Buy land. We take witnesses, we sign documents, and we don't buy land within the Babylonian system, which is why we're here in Jordan. Because the Most High said through Prophet Moses, we have to cross Jordan. So now we're buying land in Jordan, in the northern areas, you know? So this is what has to be done. You can accept it or reject it. You can like it or dislike it. Nobody asks what you believe, and neither do I care, because your belief has put you where you are, which is not here, which is devoid of instruction and understanding. These are the facts, right? You can have a group, right, in some type of uniform with some type of religion, and they can be 100,000 strong. And with 100,000, none of them have their own self-governed, autonomous community.
And haven't done what Jeremiah says. It says buy land, but it also tells you to flee and save yourselves.
I mean, here's the thing. I'm just, if you look at the West Bank, the West Bank has less people, and they are fighting and governing themselves
Right.
in a neighborhood.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have their own ruler.
Yep.
They have their little army. They are supported. They have rockets. They fight with rocks. You can say what you want.
Right.
They are given all hell from a neighborhood.
Yeah.
Gaza is a small town. It's a small place. And they are holding the line with a neighborhood.
Yeah. And they seem to be the threat. Isn't that something?
The biggest threat in the region to this
is a neighborhood.
is a neighborhood.
Goodness gracious.
Then you got all of these Hebrew Israelite camps, and they can't, and they have money, but they don't know what to do with it. Right? They don't know they're supposed to give to the buying land and to relocate here. And that's because they still want to hold the New Testament near and dear to their hearts.
Yeah, Robert Shake, is something that you shared with me yesterday that was very, very powerful. And if you remember, if you could state it again, about the desire of oppressing those who had oppressed is a lot of our people's problem of remaining in America.
Yeah, you have a desire to oppress the people who oppressed you. And this law has zero oppression in it. If the Most High wanted people to rule by oppression, he'll continue to give it to Europe, to the Babylonian people. They rule by oppression. They rule by war and by a false testimony.
Yeah.
They rule by deception and destabilization, colonizing. If the Most High wanted this, he would just use them. They are better at it than you.
Right.
Okay, you say, Rabbi Sheikh, how do you know? We the best people in the world. Not with oppression.
No. In the law, there are many times that Allah constantly remind us of how we are to treat others because we were once sojourners in the West,
So
and we were
you
this in the
cannot
West.
rule with oppression,
No.
and your enemy uses oppression. All of his tactics, all of his techniques, all of his ways are oppressive. They are wicked. And you want to use them. You just want to take over the system that he's using. And I'm going to show you how bad you suck at it. Okay? 55 counted. 55 counted. I know there's more. There's 55 million African Americans in America. 55 million people in America, if they wanted to, and they could organize together, even if it was crazy and haphazardly, could take over and divide the country in half and take a portion of it, driving out their enemies from the borders. 55 million. You can take bases, armies, yeah, you're going to lose people, but 55 million of you, you definitely could take a few states with its bases and its weapons and hold the ground. Because out of the 55 million of you, a lot of them are ex-military. So they have the knowledge to even use the equipment that is there.
It's like you said, the seat is there.
The seat is there, you still don't take it. So you suck at trying to work in this Babylonian system. The Babylonian system, this is the system of the West, the system of Mitzrayim. Rabbi Sheikh, how can you say that the system of Mitzrayim, Egypt, and the West are the same? Because Nimrod, when he left from Babylon, he went down into Egypt and settled there. There is a city here still called Nimrod, Nimrud. It is still here. It is where Nimrod came down to be amongst his brethren.
Wow.
You can look it up, Google it. And so the system that was established in Egypt at Mitzrayim is the same system that Nimrod brought down because he remained the ruler over all the family of Ham after the Tower of Babel. But he didn't want to take part anymore in part of a broken council and part of a divided leadership. Okay?
Wow.
So again, this is all history lessons that I'm giving you, and I'm not telling you this from some weirdo book. This is from the manuscripts. This is from the Aramaic. All the history is right here. So I'm telling you from this book what happened. I'm not telling you from nobody's opinion, not from Shay Whitey or nothing of the sort. I'm telling you from this book, right? You know who Shay Whitey is, right?
Yeah.
You know, people come out and they want, well, Josephus, I don't give a dang about what Shay Whitey had to say. I don't listen to my enemies about anything. You can't tell me that you stole all the goods, all the gold out the tabernacle, drove us out the land, and now you don't want us to get back. And then you want to tell me what history is? Don't tell me what history is. How about you give me back the books and the gold and allow me to go home? They won't. It's not that simple. So the Most High said, since they won't let you, I'm going to tell you exactly how you go home. Give money to the inside. See it? It's right here. And to this face. You see this face here? In Jordan. You see this place here. So this inside, this face, this place, Jordan, for you, not for me, for you. Because listen, I'm going to tell you a secret, right?
Yes, sir.
Right? So as long as they don't give, right? And we don't have money to build the sanctuary, right? As long as we don't have it, right? I will continue to have sustainment
Yes.
from the Babylonian system.
Yeah.
And so will you.
Yes, sir.
You understand that, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So when we get the money and we buy the land and we start building,
Yes.
right?
Because we are going to do that.
We're going to do it. I'm going to do it anyway.
That's right.
I'm going to show you something better than I could tell you. So when we do this and we get this land, and I'm going to come back after this. All right, we're back. So when we do this and we get this land, right? And we get our little vegetable market, and maybe build it up to a supermarket, because it can be small. We may not start big. That's
Right.
fine. And we get our little farm, right? I promise you, you will see this sign. You will hear this from my mouth. In the same way, when Noah completed the ark, hear me, in the same way, when Noah completed the ark, the flood came and he was on it. When we get our little farm and we have our little economy going, our little business, the system going to fall in America, and we're going to be sitting here having to live off of that we've built.
Yes.
This is the sign. And I'm telling
Yes.
you this on camera.
Yes.
And it's going to happen regardless. I'm telling you this because I already know that some monies are coming. Right?
Yes.
I know. I'm telling you. I know some monies are coming. And I know there's some people are coming. There are some people, small amount, who have begun the process to give. And I want to thank those people.
Yes.
Okay? I want to thank them. Now, I'm keeping anonymity for a reason, right? Because our people are so wicked, they like to go and discourage people from doing righteous things. So I don't mention no names, but for those who give, I want you to know you're greatly appreciated, and
Yes.
you are first welcome. First welcome to come. Everybody else is going to try to come in their hour of need. So I'm telling you this now because this is the truth. I'm not trying to be Mr. Prophecy. I'm just telling you what the situation is. If you think I'm lying, look at Moses. They only turned to Moses because of the hour of need. Right? They run to Moses because we need this. Moses, make magic for this. Moses, make magic for that. And then when Moses gives them a simple instruction, let's do this. No, we don't want to do it that way. We can do it a different way. Why we got to do it this way, Moses? Why we got to follow your instruction? I know. Rabbi Sheikh, are you saying you Moses? No, I'm exactly telling you that I'm not Moses. I'm just telling you the facts of how the world is turning. As I read to you this law and you receive this understanding, you can see the earth crumbling before your eyes.
You know, it's something that you said earlier in our discussion, in which we've actually read. The plagues that occurred in Mitzrayim and Egypt did affect some of our very own.
Yeah, the plagues did affect the children of Israel
Right.
in
They wasn't
Egypt.
safe from it.
They were being afflicted.
They were being afflicted too, and we read it. They were being afflicted and light being available to bury them. So if you're thinking that what's coming and what's happening is not going to affect you, you are being delusional.
You're delusional.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you what to do to prepare for your own way. Whether you take it or you don't, is on you. Now, let's go continue now with chapter 32. Now the sons of Reuben and Gad possessed much cattle, exceeding much, and they surveyed the land of Machbah and of Gilad, Gilead, the mountains, where we are today. And behold, it was a region suitable for cattle folds. And the sons of Gad and Reuben came and spoke to Moses, Eleazar, and the princes of the congregation, saying, listen to these place names: Makelta, Mabishita, Mekba, Bet Namra, Bet Hosben, Maalat, Mida, Shiran, Bet Keburet, Demusa, right? This is Wadi Musa, right? And Behon, the land which Yah has subdued.
Y'all didn't.
Okay? So now they're saying in all these places where we had small battles and skirmishes from people who just acted against us, we didn't do nothing to them, and they
Right.
attacked us, and then God made us spin the block, go back and destroy them. They were desolate. Remember, they went to those places and they not only took the spoil, but they burned it to the ground. So nobody lived there. He says, to those places where the Most High subdued and whose inhabitants had been smitten before the congregation of Israel. This is a land suitable for cattle, and we have cattle. So now they just want to take up these towns. Now these towns not all in the same space. So they were like, well, this Gad and this Reuben, they're like, listen, we could take these towns and we can take these lands because these people gone. We burnt it to the ground and we could just take these lands. There's nobody there. They said, therefore, if we have found grace before thee, let this land be given to thy servants for possession, and let us not pass over Jordan. So they took all these lands, right, from this march that they marched around, right?
Yes, sir.
They marched around. They took all of these lands, and they're saying, now for all of these lands that we have, the people we fought in these townships and these areas, let's take these lands, and we don't have to cross Jordan. Let this be our portion. So there's a portion of land in the Saudi side and on the Jordan side, and they don't want to cross over Jordan, right? When they say Jordan, they're not talking about the river. They're talking about the region. When they say Jordan, they're not talking about the river, they're talking about the region.
Right.
When they say Jordan, they're not talking about the river, they're talking about a region. Let us not have to cross over Jordan. This is our land portion here. Let's listen to Moses' response. Moses said to the sons of Gad and Reuben, shall your brethren go to war and you sit down here? So now Moses' question, because Moses knows now that the army has been formed and forged, they have to go to battle. What happened to the prophecies in the book of Exodus where the Most High said he would send bees and they don't have to fight? He would do all of these great miracles and wonders for them to take the land. What happened to that? Do you know? You know, you don't?
No, I don't know.
Oh, I know what happened to it. When you didn't come into Jordan straight away the first time and you couldn't fight, the Most High said, don't worry. You walk around for 40 years. The next generation that I bring out of the West, out of Mitzrayim, the house of bondage of slaves, they'll come into Jordan directly and I'll work the signs and wonders for them.
So the bees and everything would come. It's going to be with us.
Now, since we've read this, I'm going to go back and make this judgment, right? I'm going to go back now because we read this. Okay? We already read this in Exodus, so I'm going back to Exodus. Okay? So I'm going to cite Exodus chapters 34 and 24. It says, for I will drive out the nations from before thee, and enlarge thy borders, and no man shall covet thy land at the time of thy going up to appear before Yah 3 times in a year. So there's a promise here to drive people out from before you when you go into the land. If he's driving them out, you don't have to go to war. They're running away. Oh, but I can't just stop there. That this might be unclear. Right? Exodus 34 and 11. Okay? Observe you that which I command you this day. Behold, I drive out before you the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Pharisees, and the Hivites, and the Jebusees. Take heed lest thou strike covenants with the inhabitants of the land to which thou art to enter, that it may not be a stumbling block to you. You see that? You see that? Now, take a look at the verse before. In 34 and 10, and the Most High said, behold, I will make a covenant that I will not change this people to become an alien people. Nevertheless, from you people, my people, shall proceed a multitude of the righteous. And with all thy people will I do wondrous things in the time they go into captivity by the rivers of Babel. For I will bring them up from thence and make them dwell from within the river Sandation, and like wonders shall not be created among all the inhabitants of the earth, nor among any nation. And I shall, and all the people whom thou wilt dwell, shall see in the day of the work of Yahweh. For terrible is the thing I will do with you.
So it clearly says, and like wonders shall not be. Oh my goodness.
You see? So I am now told you that the Most High said, I'm going to do wonders with you. But Rabbi Sheikh, you said something about bees. Okay. For this one time, I'm going to skip ahead. Okay? Deuteronomy 7 and 20. Moreover, Yahweh, your Allah, will send the plague of biting hornets among you until they who have remained shall perish and disappear before you. You see that? This is about a miracle that the Most High never performed with Joshua or at no time. This is for this generation because you're coming here and you have no weapons, you have no arms, you have nothing to defend yourself. The only thing that you have is a land right when we purchase this land that we own it and we dwell on it in peace. So now the Most High has to protect us. We have rights, we have legalities, but we have to live under our laws and not with the outside. So we're going to push the outside out and carve out our own space legally by buying it. So you see, normally I don't jump ahead.
No, you don't.
But I said something.
Right.
And so I have to now continue. And I can't it can't be vain.
Yes.
Like I said it and it's not what the Most High said. Okay? Let me see. Where were we?
Numbers 32. And we just finished reading verse 4.
All right.
Wait a minute. Oh, I'm sorry, verse 6. We just completed.
Okay? So Moses is like, you gonna leave? And you're going to what? You don't want to pass Jordan? So what are you going to do? Sit down while your brothers go to war? Why should you weaken, enfeeble the will of the sons of Israel from going over the land which Yahweh hath given to them? So did your fathers when I sent them from Rechem to survey the land. So now the Most High, Moses is talking to the sons of the spies from Reuben and Gad. It's like, when I sent them over here the first time, they didn't want to go. Just because your land portion is not the environs of Jerusalem does not mean in any way, shape, or form that you're not supposed to honor the oneness of the nation, that you're not supposed to support the building of the nation. I'm going to say that again. Just because your portion is not in the area that is being purchased does not mean you're supposed to not support the buying of the land that's not your portion. Did you hear what I said?
Yes, sir, I did. I surely did.
So just because We're not buying your portion of land right now. We're not gaining your portion of land right now. Does not mean that you're not supposed to contribute to the buying of the land. You're supposed to contribute.
Okay. I want to ask you a question because we just read the names of all these cities, and we know that they're over on this side. And this was the portions that was given to Gad and Reuben. Okay. Now, I have seen videos where it states that our Igbos in Africa was of Gad. So that means their land portion is over here.
Right. And you have to understand the Igbos are Hebrews. Okay. So they're not, there's some Judah, there's some Gad, there's some Dan, there's a mixed multitude. Okay. So when the nations divided, the house of Israel and the house of Judah, right? When they divided, you have to understand there were members of the 10 tribes that went down into Judah to dwell with them. And there were members of Judah that went with some of the 10 tribes. So if you liked Rehoboam, you went to be under him. If you liked Jeroboam, you went to be under him. So the same division that happened to Prophet Muhammad when you had the split, and then you have Shia and you have Sunni. The same division. This one become this caliphate, this one become this caliphate. Same thing that happened here is what happened to the children of Israel.
So based on what we have went through and based on here what Musa is saying to Gad and Reuben, we do need our brethren that they're in Africa that owns the land portion here to join with us to go in to inhabit all of the land.
Right. And again, this happens one step
at a time.
At a time.
Gotcha.
Right? What's the problem with the people in Africa? Okay, the problem is they think they're better off than the people in America because at least everything is black. So the delusion you have in America and going to Africa, the Africans are like, yeah, everything here is black. But the Africans are still under European oppression, and the Europeans come in and support both sides. They support your enemy and you.
Wow.
Against each other. Because they only care about, okay, is my tribe going to be in charge? We don't care about the corruption or the leadership and the support from the European nation. We care about, is my tribe going to be in charge? So where is this found in the law? Well, you will see throughout the scriptures. Oh, well, Darius supported the rebuilding of this and he gave this, right? Or Nebuchadnezzar did this, or this king did this. Now they got hit, like, instead of supporting them that they go back and rebuild, let's just support one against the other. So this way they're always fighting and we don't have to worry about them coming into any sort of power. There's always division. So that's why the Most High is not using that way. So if you think that having the support of Shea Whitey is going to expedite the success of the building of the nation, it's not. Wow. All right. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to get to some reading here.
Yes, sir.
And let's get the lesson out of the law and try to wrap this thing up today.
Yes, sir. Wow.
All right, so picking up now.
Let's start at verse 9.
All righty. So when they went to Rechem to survey the land, that is verse 8. Then they went up to the brook of Etkela and saw the land, but enfeebled the will of the heart of Israel, so that they would not enter into the land which Yah had given to them. And the anger of Yah was moved that day, and he swears, saying, if these men who came out of Mitzrayim from 20 years older and upward shall see the land which I covenanted to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, because they have not fully walked according to my fear. The fear of Yah is the obedience to the instruction. I repeat, the fear of Yah is the obedience to the instruction. What? The instruction. So if the instruction gives you an ordering of the people, this man in charge, this man is responsible for this, and support him, and everything I say to this man, you do. If I speak to this man and tell this man to do this, you do it. When I speak to this man, there's an order. The fear. And everybody walked, and they have not fully walked according to my fear, except Caliph bar Juniper, the Kenizzi, so you have the Kenizzites, and Yehoshua bar Nun, for they have fully walked after the fear of Yah. They just accepted the instruction, and it is what it is, and this is how it is, and this is how it's set up, and that's what it is. And the anger of Yah was moved against Israel, and he made them wander in the wilderness 40 years, until all that generation which did evil before Yah had been consumed. They died.
Right.
And behold, you are risen up after your fathers, disciples of wicked men.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay. The evil that they committed was rejecting to obey the instructions that was given. One.
Right. So now you want to divide yourself. You want to divide yourself from the whole because your portion of land is freed up. So now you want to divide yourself. Listen, we got our land, so we good. Let us just take what we got and live. Let us live, Moses. We tired of wandering. We tired of walking around with the rest of y'all. I'm here. This mine. This for me. I'm good right here.
Okay, so here it was considered evil, and now here they're described as disciples of wicked men.
So now you have grown up under the teaching and the tutelage of wicked men, which is where we are today. Ain't nothing changed. We're the same people.
Right. So us trying to put our enemies as what's considered wicked, we ourselves are wicked when we're not obedient to the instructions and or reject the instructions.
Right. And you're disciples of wicked men, meaning you grew up under someone who did not teach you this law, lived in this land, understanding the culture and the traditions of the way of the Most High from Abraham. So what culture did they have in this time? They came out with Egyptian culture. And they understood the Egyptian system, which came from Nimrod, which came from Babylon. Now you are in the West, still living under the same system, the same economic system, the same social systems, the same structures of communities. All you know is you've been discipled by wicked men. So now the Most High killed those wicked men who came out of Egypt 20 and up. And the Most High had mercy because he didn't kill them all rapidly because he needed them to still raise up the youngsters. But the youngsters are still getting an earshot of some bad teachings from these people who came up out of Egypt.
Right, because we see that with Korah. Think because he had money and wealth that he was the one to be in power. That's a Western mentality, Egyptian Nimrodic mentality.
Right.
Whew.
So now he says, here you come just trying to get your own portion and not working for the whole. So again, when I tell you the one pocket system, we're going to continue to buy land and expand until we get back the whole.
Yes.
Right? So we're always reinvesting. So yes, you come. Yes, you do work. Yes, you receive a monthly stipend, but your monthly stipend is not to pay bills. This for your own personal use.
Right.
Right? And the majority of the profits from the businesses that we make will go back into the community to continue the expansion. This is where it comes from.
Right.
Okay, well, let's take a look. So these wicked disciples to increase yet the anger of Yahweh against Israel, against the nation. For if you go back from fearing him, from fearing the instruction of the Most High, he will still make them abide in the wilderness. So Moses is like, listen, if you guys come up with this dumbass idea and you follow through with it, then you know the Most High's judgment for this type of action is a 40-year stint in the wilderness. So just because you got your little whatever, this is a problem because I'm sick of this stroll. I've been out here with you this whole time and I didn't agree with none of this. However, if we don't move as a whole nation, as a unit, if we don't regather ourselves according to the instruction at the time, then it causes us to suffer an extended period of time together. And so will you destroy all this people? So with this decision, will you now cause death to yourselves and everybody else 20 years old and upwards, the same way that last group did? And they drew near to him and said, so now the men think about what Moses said, and they say, listen, we will build sheepfolds for our flocks and towns for our families, but we will go armed among the sons of Israel until we have brought them into their place. But our families shall dwell in towns defended against the inhabitants of the land. We will not return home until the sons of Israel possess everyone his inheritance.
So their mindset wasn't about them, it was about the brethren as a whole.
When they heard Moses' judgment and what the cause of their actions and the questionings was alluding to, they changed their position.
Yes.
And said, well, first of all, we know we have no portion on that side.
Right.
But we will set up in this area sheepfolds and stores and communities. What's this? We will build a place of subsistence because as they go to war, you'll need supplies.
Sanctuary.
You need a sanctuary. You need a place to produce the food for the men, the bread, grow the rice, the wheat. We're becoming many. So let us create these as bases of operation to feed,
A place of provision.
right, sustenance.
Yes.
When armies go to war, they need food, they need weapons, they need supplies, and you have to get it from a trustworthy source. What is the trustworthy source? Your own
It's
people.
people. Your own self.
So let us take all of this, and we're not going to cross Jordan because it's not even our land. But our soldiers, our strong men, will continue to fight with you, and they don't come home. They won't come home until you've gotten all that belongs to you. But we will continue, and we will send the sheep and the food
Supplies.
and the supplies needed. Because you have to make stuff. You have to make fabrics and blankets and anything needed, we will make it in these towns. So now let's talk about what we're doing here in Jordan. This is exactly what I'm doing.
This one pocket.
Here's the one pocket system again.
And the community.
And the community. Is this the community that's going to be the land, this? No. This is the sustainment before you go and take the land. So we will do this, for we will not inherit with them over the Jordan and beyond. For our inheritance come to us beyond Jordan eastward. So they know that their inheritance is on the Saudi Arabian side in the lands now controlled by Saudi. So they're saying our inheritance comes eastward. We don't even have nothing on that side, the other side of the Jordan area. So now let's see what Moses' judgment is, because they said, let's recap. We will build sheepfolds for our flocks, towns for our families. So you have towns, communities, neighborhoods. We will build all of this. We will have economy. We will build, right? And we're sending our men armed to fight with you and to defend. And we will defend our towns, and we will fight with you to gain the rest of our lands. And we won't return home until all of us, every one of the sons, possess their land. So they set up the sustenance first.
Yes, they did.
So this is how Joshua has success, because whenever they need to recharge, they don't have to now deal with the Balak system, the Balaam system. You don't have to go into these places and they setting up taverns
with cheap food and seductive women.
Now you can just go among your own people
and get
buy
what you need,
stock up, bring it back out. We're gonna give them another round. That's why you have to take a possession. This is what I'm telling you. You guys, if you don't like what I'm saying, just turn off the channel.
Yeah.
All right. And Moses says to them, if you will perform this thing, if you will go forth armed before the people of Yah to the war, if some of you armed will pass over Jordan before Yah's people to go on with the war until he have driven out the enemy before him, and the land be subdued before the people of Yah, then afterwards you shall return and be acquitted before Yah and by Israel, and this land shall be yours for an inheritance.
Wow.
Now the first thing, just understand, here's a blessing.
Yeah.
All right. So, this is a blessing. So Moses says, if you do exactly as you say, and you go with them with your armies, and you create these bases, right? And the children of Israel keep going until they possess all that the Most High has promised them, and they subdue the lands that was promised them. It says, if they do it, then, then afterwards, when your soldiers return and you bring back your people from the wars and the battles and the sojourning, then you'll be acquitted by the people of Israel, right? And by the law from Yah. So how long does this judgment take to roll out? Okay? So now let's take a look at this judgment. This lasts all the way for another 40 years. And you say, what? Rabbi Sheikh, what are you talking about?
This 40 years.
This judgment lasts because they didn't take that land across the Jordan until David defeated Goliath, until David captured Jebusite Jerusalem with the spies. So the sons of Reuben had to remain and give their services to the military until that time.
Of David.
Until the time of David. So yes, they established, yes, they grew, yes, they prospered, but the judgment remained out until David finally ascended the throne and they had all the lands promised them. So it's 40 years to the end of Joshua, then through the time of Judges, all the way down to Saul, and from Saul to David. So it's over 40 plus years. The judgment remained out. And when David took it with Jebusite Jerusalem and conquered the land, then the tribe of Reuben was acquitted. By the Most High and by the nation of Israel, because they had fulfilled their obligation. But it took all of that time. So 40 years of Joshua, the time of Judges, all the way down to David take the throne. And that's the blessing, because they now have their place ahead of everybody else, and they're not sojourning with everybody else in all of the journeys no more. They're receiving rest first. So before that the capital city is even established, before Jerusalem and its regions are established, they enjoying rest, they got their portions. So let's see what this happens. But if you will not perform this, behold, you will have sinned before Yah, your Allah, and know that your sin will meet you.
Wow.
Okay? So build your cities for your little ones, and folds for your sheep, and do that which has proceeded from your mouth. Now, Moses is holding them to a covenanted, bonded oath. Not that they promise, I swear, I promise. No. You talked. Your word now bonded. Why? As you can clearly see, we did the lesson of bonding your words.
Yes.
Now they're talking and the Most High is not taking it for vanity. You can talk freely. You understand the power of a conversation, and I can bond you to what you say. Because you have to say what you mean what you say. We did this class already.
Right.
So now you know. You talk and you'll say, I'll do this and I will withhold this and I will send my sons to war and we will cycle them out according to the years and we will stay with you until it's completed. Received. And the sons of Gad and Reuben spoke to Moshe with one consent, saying, Thy servants will do whatever my Lord hath commanded. Now you say, my Lord. Why did you say that? They recognize Moses king. Moses king in this time. We will do what you command, Moses. So now they are starting to relent the independent thought. They're coming into a kingdom mindset. And the other time it was just Moses.
Yes.
Now it's my Lord. Okay? Thy servants will do whatever my Lord hath commanded. Our children, wives, flocks, and all our cattle shall be here in the cities of Gilad. But thy servants will go over every one armed for the host before the people of Yah to the war, as my Lord has said. And Moses commanded concerning them Eleazar the priest and Joshua bar Nun and the heads of the tribes of the Bani Israel. That's exactly what they are called, both in our Torah and in the Holy Quran. There is a difference between the Jews and Bani Israel. I am not Jewish.
Not a Jew.
And said to them, if the sons of Gad and of Reuben go over the Jordan with you, everyone armed for war, before the people of Yah, and the land be subdued before you, then shall you give them the land of Gilad for a possession. So the land of Gilad belonged to who? Reuben and Gad. Now there's other portions that go to the house of David, that go to Caleb, that go to this one or that one. Just because you have a region under your command, a portion may belong to another tribe because of some special merit. So the land is not divided by a line.
Right. As, like you said, the borders.
It's not straight. It's an area, it have landmarks. It's not straight. And it fluctuates if you small or big.
Yes, we went over that.
Okay? But if they will not pass over armed with you, then they shall receive an inheritance among you in the land of Canaan. But the sons of Gad and Reuben answered and said, whatsoever Yah has spoken to thy servants, so will we do. We will go over armed before Yah's people into the land of Canaan, that our inheritance may be on this side of the Jordan. And Moses gave to them the sons of Gad and of Reuben, and to the half tribe of Manasseh, Bar Yosef, the kingdom of Sihon, king of the Amori, and the kingdom of Og, of Matnan, the land with its cities by the limits of their cities, the land round about. All right, I'm coming back to close out. All right. So we're talking about the lands that they received. So Manasseh inherited Samaria. The half tribe of Manasseh inherited Samaria, right? Ephraim received Damascus, which is now part of Syria. So now you can look up Sumer, 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 that is ancient Sumeria. You look up Damascus, and that's Ephraim. So Ephraim and Manasseh, these are their lands. So you see that Manasseh is the land of Sumer, and it is on the border of the Euphrates in the southern tip of, I believe, Iraq, right? With the Persian Gulf sitting right there. Okay? Bozrah is over there too. Okay? And when you're talking about the land of Og, of Matnan, you're talking about now the northern region of what is today Jordan. That is Gilad.
Where we are.
Yeah, we here. Okay? And Moses gave to them the sons of Gad and of Reuben, and this, the kingdom of Og, the land and the city, land round about. And the sons of Gad rebuilt Madbashta and Maklata and Lekayah and Mekletha and Shophina and Makbar and Jeramata and the strong city of Beth Nimrim, right? That's Nimrod. Well, no, that's not Nimrod. Nimrim. Where's Beth Nimrim? The house of Nimrim. I forget. Right? And Beth Haran, which is the house of Haran, Moses' brother, which is on the border of the Tigris and Euphrates as well. I think that's almost close to or near Turkey. Right? Fenced cities with folds for sheep. And the sons of Reuben rebuilt Beth Heshbon and Beth Mahalat Mira and the cities of the two streets paved with marble, which is Berisha, the place of the sepulchre of Moses, and rebuilt the cities of Balak. So the place of the sepulchre of Moses is in Oman, Mount Ibra in Oman. That's in Oman. Now, if you start pointing out these areas, you're going to see a very large portion of the region belonging to the children of Israel. And it infringes upon the current borders of the nations who currently live here. I don't care. I'm going to tell you the truth anyway. So these are the cities of Balak, destroying out of it the idol of Peor in the house of the high places, and the cities whose walls surrounding it, inscribed with the names of his heroes and Shiran. And after they built them, they called their names after the names of the men who had built them. So when they destroyed Balak's place, they tore down the names of his heroes and his idols and all the stuff that he thought was great. And they shut down the prostitution ring he was running. It didn't mean that those people didn't keep that plan and implement it in other places and in other ways as a buffer to you. It just means that in the place where they went, in the towns where they settled, they just didn't participate and they pushed it out. Okay? Mm-hmm. So it's not land wide.
Right.
Just that town, just that area, that neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
All righty, let's take a look. And the sons of Machir bar Manasseh went to Gilad and subdued it, and drove out the Amorite who were therein. So the Amorites got driven out. And Moses gave Gilad to Machir, Bar Manasseh, and he dwelt in it. And Jair Bar Manasseh went and subdued their villages and called them the villages of Yair. And Nobach went and subdued Kenneth and its villages and called it Nobach, after his own name. These are the journeys of Bani Israel, who came out from Mitzrayim, the west, by their host, after the miracles had been wrought for them by the hand of Musa and Aharon, Moses and Aaron. Moses recorded their outgoings. Oh, I could stop here. We'll get to that tomorrow. We'll get to that tomorrow. So that's it. Whew! I'm tired. Actually, I'm not tired. I'm just done. Because there's a lot to get explained. And as you can see, the Most High and Moses are now closing out this chapter because the book of Deuteronomy gets overlaid on top. Right? So where Numbers is going to end, you're going to get closer to the benediction given in Deuteronomy by Moses, because Moses' time is closing out. You see, they're talking about his sepulcher here, right? That's the place where he's buried, which is in Mount Ibra in Oman. You can Google it. I tell you, you can Google this stuff. You think I'm lying? I'm gonna tell you, you never heard of Mount Ibra in Oman, right? Yet it's there, and this book says it's there, and it is there. I'm not letting nothing be hidden. I'm letting it be known. All right. I'll see you guys one step at a time, one day at a time.
One